All right, so I know that you are against the sale, even though I personally went to MWRD myself and I spoke up on you guys' behalf. And as soon as we finished speaking, the first thing the president said was that everybody is happy about what they're what they've been offered for them homes, and everybody is on board with selling. Now, number one, is that true?
No. First, we've never been happy to have to leave. Appraisals did go out, but they were low. Meaning, you can't put a price on anybody's hard work. You can't put a price on what you think the next person should feel as though, well, you should only get this for your house. That's not your business.
Right.
You didn't dig in your pocketbook, your pockets, or your wallets
Absolutely.
for anything. So you don't have a say in that. What someone should think that.
And again, your blood, sweat, and tears went into this house.
I'm gonna tell you this. My dad has a 6-bedroom house. That used to be a It used to be a 2-flat. In the 90s, my mother and father changed it over to a 1-family home.
Okay.
It's 6 bedrooms in there, 2 bath, full basement, dining room, living room, kitchen. I think the square footage is 2,571. Don't quote me, but the lot is 8,250 something thousand. Where do you think my daddy can go
to buy that?
To buy that,
he cannot.
He cannot, and to be able to afford it,
he will not.
This house here is the square footage is 1,700 and something thousand. Now, it's not big at all. But the lot, it sits on 1.5 acres of land.
Mm-hmm.
Where can he go to
acquire that much land?
I mean, you can go, but you're gonna be paying a whole lot of money for it. So the appraisals, they didn't, the square footage, they weren't comparable to what we have. They were either less than what we have. They never amounted to what the square footages of what we have. So it's like, well, how do you compare something? How do you give somebody a comparison of what their house is supposed to be, and the square footage doesn't match?
Right.
The number of rooms doesn't match.
That makes no sense.
We have functioning garages, functioning basements. Not so it's like, how did you get that comparison? So no, we wasn't happy for that. My dad was like, no, that's not gonna work for me. You know? And then there was we were asked to do a counter offer. The counter offer came, and it was a little bit more, but then you didn't get, you had to pay for your the moving, you had to pay for the inspection, and things like that. Yeah. So it didn't. I know what he posted yesterday, some people may think that that's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money at all.
Yeah, I had to really let somebody on Facebook know that, because they was like, look like they got a good amount of money. I'm like, no, read the fine print.
And also
understand their history. No, that is not enough.
That is not
to
enough.
Take away anybody's home.
That's been in a home for 50 plus years.
Absolutely not enough.
Pay 50 plus years worth of property tax that has did the accommodations to have their home to be the way they
comfortable.
Want their home to be. That's not enough. When it comes to that sidewalk that's out there, my mother and father pay half. The city pay half when they got that fixed, and they pay half. So don't come and be like, oh, well, this is that ain't your business.
Right.
You understand? So stay in your lane on that.
Exactly.
Because that's not your business.
Exactly.
And then also, too, we had trees. We used to have a lot of trees around. And to the point that, these old maple trees, they buckle up the sidewalk. That's the reason why the sidewalk had to be, fixed. And things like that. So my dad got those taken out or cut down or whatever, and things like that, even all over, because we used to have some in the back, and whenever a storm comes, it would, a branch will fall. You know, and my dad was very always like, man, you know, I don't want no tree to fall on my house, so I'm gonna just get that sucker cut down.
Right.
You know, and he did. You know, so things like that, getting trees cut down costs a lot of money. And so, you know, we have fences and things like that. You know, that fencing is a lot. It's
absolutely
very expensive. You know, we don't have,
especially y'all have iron fences, not like you have the cheap chain link ones.
So you know, we don't get flooding. We've never had flooding at our house or anything like that. I don't know about nobody else, but we don't have flooding. Maybe if you get rid of trees or you do some, you know, because when trees roots get in the sewer lines, that causes flooding.
Yep.
And that's the thing a lot of the people complain about is because sewer backup. We don't have streets where the streets is, you can't go down that street because it's flooded. You know, and then also too, with the appraisal that MWRD did, here is a copy of the FEMA map that the subject is not in a flood zone. So it's like, what are you doing this for? And we not even in the flood zone. You gonna take away our houses and our houses don't flood, and it's clearly right there, it's not in a flood zone. You know, so it just doesn't make sense. It seems, you know, that there is more to the story.
There's some palms getting greased because this makes absolutely no sense. If this house is not even in the flood zone and they had other alternatives, why would they force the sale upon you guys?
Well, they said that because the engineers at NWRD, they said that this was the best location because the way the water flows. You seen any hills around here?
Best location doesn't mean only location. Maybe I'm a little slow, but that's just what they're trying to force upon you guys. That does not mean that they can't make an alternative.
Right. But once again, do you see any hills around here? No, you don't. But regardless, if it's something that we don't see or whatever, that clearly tells you we're not in a flood zone.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you think we lying, that's what
talk to FEMA.
Talk to FEMA, right?
They're the experts. We the ones that look out to them when we need help for flooding.
Exactly. So, you know, it's just,
I've had FEMA flood help. My house was in the flood zone. Shit, it was.
So, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So even with that makes me and my sister fight even harder, you know, because we only have our dad that's a living parent for us, and we want to hold on to him as long as we can.
Absolutely.
We don't know how long we have.
And then you want him to live his last years not stressed. Like, this should not even be an issue. This should not be a conversation. And especially if they have other alternatives.
Right. And then, you know, the thing is, we want the progress too. We all for the progress. I mean, we've been here for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then if you're saying, we're gonna build a better Harvey. Well, how do you dictate who gets to stay for the better Harvey? And who
absolutely.
Gets to go? You didn't pay anything.
Because you're displacing this whole community of houses in this block.
Yeah. So, you know, it's really sad. We have tried to. You know, my first time ever going to a city council meeting, I made public comment. And then during that public comment, you know, it was like trying to reason with him and tell him, you know, like, you have to show compassion. You have to show some empathy. You don't even come to the block to say anything, you know, to us. I said it during that public comment. I said it during the September 7, 2023 meeting where, you know, MWRD was there, and it was like, you won't even come over here to talk to us. Well, maybe his comment was, maybe I just didn't want to talk to you.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Really?
I couldn't believe he said that in front of them. Like,
really?
Oh, okay. You know, you saying this out loud, but hey, okay.
You the one that's trying to take my house, and...
Yes. We have that on video.
You maybe just didn't want to. Oh, okay.
Maybe I just didn't want to be with you. And then even Miss Dorothy, she was very vocal, and you know, there's articles with her saying, you know, she doesn't want to leave. You know, she's elderly. You're going back and forth
right.
with an elderly woman, you know, and things
and
like
then
that.
you're kind of intimidating. So, you know, it's one thing for you to talk to the residents and have everybody on board. It's another thing when you're trying to force a sale.
Yeah. Yes.
This is a forced sale.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, we have, you know, I know that last
and
week,
like when you, and I'm not cutting you off, but I am. What is too much? Like, what is your house worth?
Right.
And dollars. How could you put that out there?
Right. You know, it's like, but how can somebody dictate to you what you think your house is worth? You understand? And it's like,
because you should be able to offer, you should be able to say, give me $1 million.
And they should be, you want it because I look at it like this. Since you say this the perfect spot, my family look at it like this. Well, since it's the perfect spot, we sitting on gold.
Absolutely.
We sitting on oil over here. Then
you gotta be.
Us. We gotta be. We sitting on something that you want, so you should pay us like that. But we've never said that. You know, we trying to be as humble,
right?
Things like that. So we're not trying to be like, well, give me billions of dollars or give me a $1 million. You know, you say that we're gonna make people whole. Well,
because I need land. I need another 6-bedroom house plus a house next door to it.
Yep.
You have to compensate for all of that.
Yes.
You can't give me what you think my house is worth. You have to actually give me the dollar amount of what my house is worth. Like,
so, you know, I know last week he went down. We were never asked to go down, but one of the residents was asked to go down.
I saw that shit show.
I don't know what they thought was gonna come to that. I mean, it was an epic fail, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But we have 1,200, close to 1,300 signed signatures right here.
And those signatures are from residents outside of Harvey or only
in Harvey?
So all of those
are outside of Harvey, but a majority are in Harvey.
Okay. And are they signing to say that they are opposed to this retention pond?
Yes.
And so when Clark says that everybody is on board, how, when you have all of those signatures saying they're against it?
I don't know. I mean,
did you guys take those signatures actually to MWRD?
No. Ryan did tell them that we have this many signatures.
Maybe Ryan needs to go up there and actually take the signatures so they can see.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be next steps, because you need to get more residents to go down there to show them that, number one, we're not stopping. Number two, we have evidence of people saying they don't want this here. Not they don't want it at all.
We just don't want to
They just don't want it here on this block. And they have a right to say no to a retention pond. The thing about it is, Clark is like in a dictatorship with his Harvey residents right now. It's a little different than us in Dalton. So in Harvey,
in Dalton, he would never.
He would never. But in Harvey, he have his little minions that's voting with him for everything. That's probably getting some good kickbacks as well. But he don't allow the residents to freely express themselves without trying to give them tickets or putting them out of meetings
or have them choked.
And it's just like, you just falsely accused Colby Chapman of something that she did not do. And then you were forced to let her out because people was not going to allow you to do that. And it's just like, the same thing have to happen with your house. We have to stop him from trying to take advantage of you guys and trying to take your legacy.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, this project was in Dalton. Well, I don't know if it's done in Dalton or if it was ever completed, but I think there's a retention pond.
I think so.
Nobody was displaced. Remember?
Right.
Dalton had a flood. When was that?
Every year.
Water on 147th
Listen,
Street.
we have Dalton is
pond,
always flooding.
So the retention pond didn't help that.
No.
They're doing this in Robbins. They just had a ceremony where they're breaking the ground. It's been 10 years in the works in Robbins. Nobody is being displaced. They've had over 40 meetings. They even have a team. Nobody is being displaced. But yet still here in Harvey,
you want to take
we had
whole blocks.
3 meetings. July 6th and 2 July 15th. The one that was on September 7th, we had that because it was requested by the MWRD. You understand? Not that the city requested. When we went down there for that board meeting. Right. That's how we got that meeting. And it's like, you're just for meetings and you want to displace people from their homes. And what really bothers me is that residents who are homeowners, because right before we met with Alderwoman Chapman, I had a meeting and it was everybody on the block. Just come to my house, just to even cry, because it was like a week after learning. And there was this lady, she was a friend of one of the people that was on here. I guess she was coming as, a stand-in or whatever. She sat right here on this couch and she was like, oh, she lived on Lexington. I don't want this to happen to me. I hope they not coming for my house, and, things like that. And
how could you stop them?
Right, but how can you stop them? But the thing is, my thing is, that same person, it was said that she made a comment, oh, well, I hope it happens. But you sat here right here on this couch and said you hope it wasn't for your house. So that mentality, just because it's not happening to you, you don't know what can happen.
Absolutely, because if they take this block, what if they need something else for the next one? They're going to need a parking lot.
Yeah.
They're going to need this. They're going to need that. And then it expands, and then people lose more and more land.
And it's not the thing of, oh, well, they're paying you, and, the house was worth this. You go on Redfin, which is not an accurate site. You go on Redfin, and the house is worth this, but we're gonna give, making it seem like it's more. Have you gone looking for houses lately?
Nobody has.
Do you look at the news and see that we in a housing market?
Absolutely.
Can't nobody afford to buy a house? Like,
they don't see that.
You don't see that?
They don't see that.
I guess they don't.
They don't.
It's like...
That's what I had to tell somebody today, though. It's like, you can't put a price on things that they've done inside of their house. Yep. And you can't just say, oh, this house is worth $130,000, but you got to take this cost off, that cost off. Then what are you left with? Like $90,000, right. If that?
But even, if you... With us looking, like when we were looking in the summertime for houses, and, for a 3-bedroom, not even a 6-bedroom, but for a 3-bedroom house, if it's not 250 or above, you're not getting it, or you're gonna have to do a whole lot of work to it. Our house, we don't have to do no whole lot of work.
Absolutely.
You understand? So why would someone want to leave their home that they're being
and go in something smaller,
but to go and put work into something?
And then you have a dual residency, right. Then you'll go down to one.
Right. So no, they have to pay my dad for both houses.
No, I'm just saying, but you still have to lose both.
Right.
So then you go down, and then you all get one house together.
No, we not. They gonna give him 2 houses.
Okay.
If they won't, they taking 2 houses. His ask is, you gonna give me 2 houses.
Okay.
But with that being said, he's a senior citizen. He's not with the senior freeze where it's 0, but some of the seniors do have 0, right? So let me tell you how that goes. In order for you to get back your senior freeze, you have to go into a house that has a senior freeze already on it. Now when you're looking for houses, you're not gonna know.
Nope.
You know,
you don't know really until you close. And
so say for instance you find a house that doesn't have a 0 senior freeze or whatever wording it is, you have to wait a whole year to then process. Who wants to do that? And they
Nobody.
already settled and established with that. Who wants to do that?
Nobody.
Nobody.